Good morning, everyone. So for today, we are going to discuss about the information age. So what idea comes to your mind when we say information age? So, information age is also known as the computer age, digital age, or new media age. It is a historical period that began in the mid 20th century, characterized by a rapid epochal shift from the traditional industry established by the Industrial Revolution to an economy primarily based upon information technology. So, the onset of the information age can be associated with the development of transistor technology, particularly the MOSFET or the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, which became the fundamental building block of digital electronics and revolutionize modern technology. According to the United Nations Public Administration Network, the information age was formed by capitalizing on computer microminiaturization advances, which would lead to modernized information and to communication processes upon broader usage within society, becoming the driving force of social evolution. There are different conceptualizations of the information age. Some focus on the evolution of information over the ages, distinguishing between the primary information age and the secondary information age. Information in the primary information age was handled by newspapers, radio, and television. The secondary information age was developed by the internet, satellite televisions, and mobile phones. The tertiary information age was emerged by media of the primary information age interconnected with media of the secondary information age as presently experienced. The information age was enabled by technology developed in the digital revolution, which was itself enabled by building on the developments of the technological revolution. Some have begun to call it the information revolution. Technological changes brought dramatic new options to Americans living in the 1990s, from the beginning of the decade until the end. New forms of entertainment, commerce, research, work, and communication became commonplace. The driving force behind much of this change was an innovation popularly known as the Internet.
Now let's talk about the history of information age or the history of technology. So the information age began around the year 1970 and is still going on up until today. It is also commonly known as the computer age, digital age, or new media age. This era brought about a time period in which people could access information and knowledge easily. This era, the information age, was known to have an advanced speed of progress, and people are now able to easily access information. So, from the year 1970 up until today, we can see that technology are still advancing, and at this point, technology is mostly being refined and improved. The Renaissance period, scientific revolution, and industrial revolution influenced the development of the information age. So for the Renaissance period, it influenced the information age by creating the idea inventions well too advanced for the time. The basic idea was used to develop modern inventions. The Renaissance also changed literature. At first, only books that told stories of religion and religious heroes was written. But during Renaissance, people began to write realistic books and not just religious. It was no longer about what humans could do for God, but what humans could do for themselves. This way of thinking is called humanism. The Industrial Revolution also influenced the development of the information age through the major changes in agriculture, manufacturing, mining, transportation, and technology. This era had a profound effect on the social, economic, and cultural conditions of the world. There were many different inventions that came about because of the information age. One of it was the computer, including the internet. So because of this innovation, we are now able to access information with a touch of a button, and we can now do everything online, which is really beneficial. The development of fiber optic cables was also introduced during this era. We all know that one early problem faced by internet users was speed. Before, phone lines could only transmit information at a limited rate. But because of this invention, which is the fiber optic cable, it allowed for billions of bits of information to be received every minute. Lastly, companies like Intel also developed faster microprocessors. So because of this, personal computers could process the incoming signals at a more rapid rate.
During 1990s, the World Wide Web was developed in large part for commercial purposes. New forms of communication was introduced, like the electronic mail or what we've called as email. So, it is a one way of sending message to your friends or associates. Surfing the net was also became a pastime. So, the question is how did the growth in technology appeal to the society? So, regardless of its drawbacks, by the end of the 1990s, the world was fast becoming wired. Evaluating website sources. Because of the variety of information in the internet, it is very important that we develop evaluation skills to assess us in identifying quality web pages and sources. So, this time, we are all aware that we do a lot of research, but we are hesitant to rely on that information we've seen on the internet because we don't trust it and we don't know if the information was correct or fact. So for us to be able to rely on those informations, we should observe these criteria. So there were 6 criteria to be observed to be able to know if that informations or that file or that research paper is legit. So first we have the authority. So in the authority, is it clear who's responsible for the content of the page? Is there a way of verifying the legitimacy of the organization, group, company, or individual? Is there any indication of the author's qualification for writing on a particular topic? Is the information from the sources known to be reliable? So in the authority, you have to consider or you have to consider if the author has the expertise or the experience with the topic, if the credentials of the authors are listed, if there is organizational information provided, and where is the document published, and you have to check the URL and you will know where it came from. The next one is the accuracy. So are the source for factual information clearly listed so they can be verified in another source? Is the information free of grammatical, spelling, and other typographical errors? So in the accuracy, you have to know if the informations are accurate, are the facts documented or well researched. Are the facts similar to those reported in related print or other online sources? So you have to compare it to other sources if there is the similarity of it, and make sure the authors provide email or contact address and phone number in the source. The third one is objectivity. Does the content appear to contain any evidence of bias? Is there a link to a page describing the goals or purpose of the sponsoring organization or company? If there is any advertising on the page,
Is it clear, differentiated from the informational content? So in the objective, there is only one information for you to know if it is reliable or legit. So you make sure, or you have to check how detailed the information is.
The six criteria that we should observe in evaluating website sources is the currency. So, are there dates on the page to indicate when the page was written, when the page was first placed on the web, or when the page was last revised? So, example of a website is a Google.com, Wikipedia. In that website, we can see sources. In that sources, we can gain knowledge, right? But to gain knowledge, we should also have the criteria. Yes, the criteria that I wanted to imply that in this curacy, there should be dates on the page. There should be a written date, when is it first placed in the web, on the web, and when is it last revised, so that makahibaw ta nga kini siya legit ni siya kay bago ni siya nga kuan kanang latest ni siya nga update mo ni siya mo kinahanglan ang accuracy. So next is also the coverage. Are these topics successfully addressed with clearly presented arguments and adequate support to substantiate them? Does the work update other sources, substantiate other materials when you read, or add new information? So there is a coverage kay asa na siya kutob. So unsa na siyang topic, dapat na adjud unsa na siyang gi-address, asa na siya, o gibutang dira nga clear jud siya, clear, precise, nga makaingon jud ka nga mao jud ni siya, di ni siya fake. Kay nakit-an man nimo ang update sa katong kuan, then ang materials unsay source niya, nabay nabutang og new information nga makasupport sa iya ganing topic. Is the target audience identified and appropriate for your needs? Nakuan ba siya na target pa siya nga kini siya, mao ni siya kay mao sakto jud siya kay mao ni siya na jud siya bago nga kuan o information o de ang kuan nakasupport jud siya sa iyahang buot ipasabot. So that was the coverage. The last but not the least is the appearance. Does the site look well organized? Do the links work? Does the site appear well maintained? So, appearance is also a must. Kinahanglan magani ta o kinahanglan magani nga nindot ato ang appearance para sa uban, kay para makaingon sila o kini siya o kay mao ni siya ang barog o maayo kayo ang barog. So yan ana sad ang kinahanglan nimo tan-ahon sa website nga imo makuha sa source. Kay kung dili siya organized katag siya, makaingon ka nga giburo ka tingay may gibinuangan ani niya, there ini ka click pud nimo sa link, dapat pud maka mo-apply siya di siya moingon nga website is not found. So kinahanglan siya og ana. So that was the six evaluating or criteria for evaluating website sources. First is the authority. Next is the accuracy. Third is the objectivity. Fourth is the currency, coverage, and lastly, appearance. So remember the 6 criteria in observing the website sources, guys, so that dili tama kuan gani katang murag ba fake news. dili ta ma-fake news ug maka-identify ta nga kini siya legit jud ni siya nga sources. So, thank you everyone and have a great day.